Greetings, my action figure collector aficionados. It is Squab Father here with Snarf over here chewing on something. And today we have Age of the Primes, Sureshot, and his little Target buddy, Targetmaster little chum, Spoil Sport. Alright, let's check out the packaging here. It's a good illustration of him. Good vehicle. Still, it's much more comic book than like the 86 Thundercracker. I dig it. Still has some line quality going on in it. Here's a nice render, Sureshot, all the other stuff, yada yada. More primes. Alright, cool. Alright, let's check this dude out. So he is very much a good representation of his G1 counterpart. Of course, he has these weird little arm things. His wheels don't fall quite in the correct place, compared to G1, but still he is a very lean, mean robot. So he has basically no back kibble, really, just a little bit. His back legs are hollow, but his wheels cover him up quite nice. He does have the exposed hip butt mushroom peg syndrome, so that's kind of a bummer. It's kind of, unfinished looking. And then his forearms are pretty hollow as well. So, but that hides pretty well. I'm sure there will be an upgrade kit with a gap filler. The other thing too is you can see through his knees, his hollow knees. So that's kind of an eyesore for me. I notice that all the time. So anyway, articulation goes. His melon is on a ball joint, so full exorcist. That just makes every herniated disc in my neck scream watching him do that. We can do a full 180. Basically, you just got to get around this tire. Full T. Bicep swivel. Almost 90-degree arm bend. These things are on a 5mm peg. So they can just straight pop off, or they're at least a little bit adjustable for however you want them to look. All right. So no wrist articulation. This is all one solid, crazy, freaking piece. And then we have all the way around, actually, waist swivel. He can do the splits both directions. He has a hip rotation, an almost 90-degree knee bend. His feet rock back and forth, and of course the ankle tilt. Everything you'd expect, right? And then his partner here, he has they did manage to get a little bit of paint on him, get his eyes marked out there. So, and then the rest of him, that's just for transformation. So he bends at the waist. Typical, Targetmaster form. He's got the leg guns, the back peg. He's exactly what you'd expect from a Targetmaster from now or in 87. So there you go. Alright, so first off, his little wing things, they constantly pop off when I transform him. I've practiced for this video. Let's see what I've learned, right? Okay. Anyway, let's start with the easy stuff. My guy, his feet are very, very loose. I'm going to have to tighten this pin at some point on both of his feet because he tends to just kind of go mech, or setting up straight and go mech, and it sucks. Anyway, all right, so let's tuck in the toes, slot into tab up here like so. All right, and then back here we'll flip the wheels all the way out. I just kind of rotate them down and out of the way for the moment. And now there's a double hinge, almost like an aerial bot right? So you're gonna untab it at the knee, and my knees are very tight, and that will hinge up and collapse onto his thigh like so. Same thing over here. Unhinge it, rotate it up, and then they'll tab together like so. Alright, and then I always forget to do this, so I just go ahead and rotate him now at the waist all the way around like so. Alright, so then we'll straighten out his arms since I had him in an action pose here. We'll rotate his fists pointing into his body like so. And then we'll rotate his arms up, but then this will unhook. Rotate this one up and unhook. And let's just, I'm going to rotate these down so maybe I won't bump them as much. I'll have a better success rate. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Get his arms up like that. And then this is pretty freaking crazy. Okay, so his back will untab. Right? And then it just kind of rotates out like that. And then this is all going to unhinge and rotate up. But then in here we have a rocker hinge that I don't know if you'll be able to see it real well or not. But we'll try. There we go. And then keep rockering it apart. And if you see it, there's a hinge at his neck, a hinge right here, a hinge right here, and a mushroom peg. So if we can straighten this out a little bit, then we want to rotate his whole torso 180. And then this will tab into the front. Oh, let me get this compressed down correctly. So now we got to get this to flatten out here like that, and then this will rotate up, and then we have this. Okay, now this is where I pop these off all the time, but let's see what happens. So we'll push the body down, or the shoulder plate will come down. We'll lift the noggin up like this, and then the arms, we compress this, rotate this hinge, but then also rotate this hinge around like so, and then raise his arm up, and that one stayed on. Holy crap. Okay, but do you see how delicate I'm being for the video? If I was on my couch doing this, I would be fighting Snarf from getting it before me, because it would be on the floor. So alright, so we'll rotate this piece around like so, and then raise this up, and then these have a little tab that kind of goes into this slot, right? So we'll do that, and then now this will all compress down. Oh, hang on. Then we'll tuck the head up. The head will go up and then forward, and then hide his face in his arms like that, right? So then we'll go and we'll collapse this all down, move the wheels out of the way, collapse this all down, and it'll tab into place, and then this will rotate around and just kind of fit in on itself. Whoops. This just kind of fits in on itself like so. Now there's a tab here, or a slot here, and a tab here. And we're just going to use that elbow joint and tab those together. Both sides. Into the tab, like so. Now there's a peg and a hole. And that's just going to lock his forearms into place along with his wheels. Everything a good squeeze. Everything looks good. And there you have it. Oh, and I tend to rock his fins up forward like one of those old 80s race cars. The RC cars had the big fin on them. Yeah, anyway. So there you go. He looks good. His colors are good. Very bold, very bright. You don't have any of the weird, like, yellows not matching either. Like, even the yellow paint on the forearms is a really good match. So I wish they could have done that with Bumblebee and Sunstreaker, you know. But anyway, bottom looks good. No really anything. You can see his head back there, but it's top of his head, so he doesn't have the face showing, so that's good for me. And there you go. And for his Targetmaster here, typical Targetmaster transformation. This will hinge down, and then this hinge comes around like this, and there's your peg. There's your gun, and that will tab right here on the front. Now, I will say this gun is too big for anybody to see through the windshield, but I guess that's not a big deal for him. Alright, and quick alt mode comparisons here. Let's get him in with his 87 Targetmaster counterparts. Sweet. Alright, quick comparisons here. We'll just get him in here with his partners here. And of course these are all three of them are deluxe size, so they all scale pretty well with one another. Alright, and then just for some more comparisons, we have him here with 86B. You can see he's quite a bit taller than him. And then here he is with 86 Optimus. Alright, and there you have Age of the Primes, Sureshot, and Spoil Sport. And let me tell you, I am so happy to have this guy on my shelf in my collection. You know, that has been a gap, a spot that needs to be filled in my collection for a long time. Like I said, I don't think one has been made since 87, and I was 8 years old when that happened, and somehow I didn't manage to get this one. Out of the few that I never got, he was one of them, so it's cool to have him. Couple of nitpicks is the hollow forearms, the lack of wrist articulation, or they could have had the fist tuck into the forearm gaps or something. I'm sure they were just trying to keep the parts count down because he had a Targetmaster with him, but whatever. His thighs are a little hollow. The calves aren't so bad because his big tires kind of fill that gap, so that's not so noticeable. The holes in his knees bug me a lot because that's like hollowness on the front view that I wish they could have worked their way around that. And he does suffer from the exposed hip mushroom peg butt syndrome that they kind of just always looks like an unfinished part when they do that. But again, I'm sure that the parts count came into play with this. On my copy, his ankle tilt and the ankle tilt forward and backward, the rocker, the hinge for transformation, is quite loose on mine. And if you don't have him really good and vertically balanced, mine just kind of slubs over. He just kind of takes a nap on my shelf. So I do need to try to look into getting that hinge a little tighter, and I'll see what I can come up with. But all in all, there's no back kibble. The colors are good. He's a good representation for his G1 counterpart, even though there are a couple of, there's a couple of visual differences, but still, he's a good figure. He's lean and mean, and I know he's going to be happy on my shelf with his pals. So he's going on my shelf. What's on your shelf? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, keep collecting, have fun, be good to one another, subscribe, And this is Squab Father saying I'll see you real soon. Next time on